In this 4-part series, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about buying a home in California. My name is Steven with Herd Homes Real Estate here in Orange County, and I have been helping people buy and sell homes for over 15 years. I have a lot of experience, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. The deals that blow up, the deals that go smoothly, I've seen it all. I have personally helped and been involved in over 200 real estate transactions. So I can give you guys practical advice that comes from a place of having done it, not some theory. And lastly, I have purchased and sold 5 different times, so I can tell you it has been a different experience every time, and I wish I would have known these things before my first purchase. So in this YouTube series, we're gonna go through 4 parts. Part number 1, I'm gonna give you guys a basic overview and teach you everything you need to know about buying a home. Basically, the costs involved, the tips and expectations, all of that stuff. Part number 2, we're gonna talk about searching for a property. I'm gonna give you a general overview on the best tips for searching for a home. Part number 3, we're gonna dive into how to write an offer on a home. We've been in a market where prices have been rising, inventory has been low, so what do you need to actually put in your California offer to make your offer stand out and get accepted? And finally, number 4, I'm gonna walk you through the escrow process. Here's my promise to you. After watching video number 4, you are going to know more about buying a home than 99% of real estate agents who sell real estate here in California. That is right. So I'm gonna summarize decades into days for you guys, make this super simple, and just give you all the stuff that I wish I knew before I bought my first home. So with that being said, we're in part 1. Let's give you a brief overview of the home buying process and what you need to know. Part 1 of my 4-part home buying masterclass series. In this video, I'm gonna give a brief overview of the common things you need to know when going to buy a home, such as what type of loan product do you need, how much down payment do you need, what are the closing costs involved, how to find a good realtor, how to get pre-approved for a loan, and how to shop to the market you're in, understanding how the market works and using it to your advantage with your strategy. So let's dive right into it. Let's start off with loan products because that's gonna talk about also how much money you need down. So there are 3 common types of loans out there: VA, FHA, and conventional. VA loans are reserved for veterans, and those require 0 down. They are a great tool for veterans to be able to leverage, low down payment and be able to purchase a home. Those are great loans if you're a veteran. For the average first-time home buyer, you're gonna be using what's called an FHA loan, commonly referred to as a first-time home buyer loan. Typically, those are gonna require 3.5% down. And some of the advantages of them is that they have lower credit score requirements and lower income requirements. So there's a little bit more flexibility. Sometimes you can afford more when you go with an FHA loan. But the disadvantage is typically you'll have private mortgage insurance, and so you'll just have a higher payment because there's a little bit more, maybe a few extra $100 in that mortgage insurance that you're going to be paying monthly. The third and most common type of loan is conventional loans. These are loans that typically have more favorable interest rates and typically have higher credit requirements and higher income requirements. So typically this is for somebody who has 720 and above credit score, great income, low debts, and they're gonna be able to get a better interest rate with this loan. So which loan do you use is gonna be dependent upon how much money you have saved up. So you might only have 3.5% down, so the FHA loan is probably the only option for you. There are certain conventional loan programs with 3% down or 5% down, so you can put those down as well, but a lot of times if you're starting with your first home, you're gonna be putting 3.5% down, from 3.5% to 10% down. Depending on how much money you have saved up, that's gonna tell us which kind of loan product that you're gonna be in. Now that we've kind of had a brief overview of the loan products, let's talk about the costs involved. Because you have your down payment, let's say it's about 3%, so you're buying $1 million home, you're putting down about $30,000. Then you're gonna have 2 upfront costs, which are your home inspection and your home appraisal. Each of them is gonna be around $500 to $600, so you're gonna have about $1,000 to $1,200 in upfront costs. And then lastly, you're gonna have your closing costs. These are things that are common among real estate transactions, like your escrow fees, your title fees, your loan fees, your upfront homeowner's insurance, upfront HOA. So there's a few things that you're gonna be paying upfront at closing. What I would estimate for that is typically between 2 to 3% of the sales price of the home. So I've got my down payment, of about $30,000. I've got my upfront costs, appraisal and inspection of about $1,200. And now I've got my closing costs, which were going to be around $20,000 to $30,000 out of pocket. So that's really important to know. If I'm going to be buying a home, I got to save up for this and I got to save up for that. Now, $1 million is a very big home. So that's a large sales price that we're talking about. Obviously, that's a lot of money. And the less down payment you put down, the more the bank requires that you pay upfront taxes and upfront insurance. So the higher your closing costs will be. So those are the costs that are going to be involved with purchasing other than your down payment and your appraisal and inspection. Here is the most important part. I can guarantee you that this one tip is going to make or break whether or not you buy a home, not just your experience, whether you're successful. And that is finding a good real estate agent. A good realtor can help save you 6 to 8 months in the home buying process. You don't believe me? Every single time I have an open house, 9 out of 10 people who come in tell me they've been searching for a year or longer. I don't know about you guys, but I've got work to do. That sounds miserable to me. I'd rather go spend time at the beach on a Saturday than go out and shop open houses for a year straight. So if you want to be successful, you need a guide, somebody who's going to help you, guide you, and tell you everything you need to know so that you can help make it successful quickly and you can do it the right way. So how do you find a good realtor? Well, there's 2 or 3 different areas that you want to go to. One is your family and friends who've had a good real estate experience lately. Don't ask the ones who've had a bad real estate experience. Ask the ones who had a good real estate experience who they would recommend. Also, you can post in local community Facebook groups and see what other people's experiences are. And lastly, you can also check out open houses and see if you can meet people in person. I recommend getting a list of 3 to 5 people that you might want to schedule a phone call with just to interview and ask them some questions about their experience in the area, their process, their testimonials, what they do differently, and just overall do some due diligence and get to know them. I have clients call me all the time and they say, hey, speaking with 2 or 3 other realtors, I've seen all your 5-star reviews. I see that you sold a home in my neighborhood. Would you be willing to talk to me a little bit about what you guys have to offer and what you do differently? So that's how you find a good realtor. You kind of have phone calls with maybe 3 to 5 of them. Then you schedule in-person interviews to go down and have them take you through a buyer consultation. Tell them, hey, I'd like for you to take me through a buyer consultation and show me what your process is like. A lot of times they don't even have a presentation prepared. That is the first sign that that is not a good realtor that you should never, ever, ever work with, is if you go to meet with them and they don't have like a formal presentation prepared, because what it tells you is that they're shooting from the hip. They've got no process. They've got no strategy that works. They just are doing it differently with everyone. You need somebody who's successful and has an approach that works for all their clients consistently. So interview with them, find the one you like most, and choose them as your realtor. Starting in August 17th of 2024, you're actually going to need to sign an agreement with that realtor to say that you're going to work with them exclusively. So it's really important who you pick more than ever. Okay, so once you find a good realtor, you now need to get pre-approved. A lot of people will tell you get pre-approved and then find a realtor. This is terrible advice. Let me tell you why. If you go online to get pre-approved, you're going to get hit with the low interest rate, sketchy lenders like the B of A's, the Chase, and the Wells Fargo. You do not want to work with those people if you are buying a home in a competitive market. You do want to work with those people if you're buying a home in a down market or a dead market. The reason being, they absolutely destroyed their relationship amongst realtors nationwide because they promise closing times that they never keep, and it has been a nightmare experience. I know multiple listing agents who will not even look at a pre-approval if it has one of those banks' names on it. So you first want to meet with a realtor who has a good relationship with the local lender. And I'm not talking about like an affiliate relationship. Like, these lenders don't pay us to refer them. We refer them on the sole basis that we know that they can close on time or that they have competitive products. Have your realtor share with you recommendations for a few lenders and reach out to them, connect with them, and find one that you like. It's not about the best interest rate. It's about getting your offer accepted. In the last 15 years of being a realtor, inventory has been really low. A lot of times clients will come in, they think they're saving money working with this broker or B of A because they're getting a cheaper interest rate, but then their offers won't get accepted. Now 6 months later, prices have gone up 10%. They save $50 a month and they're spending $100,000 more on the home. That is not good math. I don't want you doing that. So find a good lender through your realtor, hopefully. Okay, lastly, is understand what market you're in. When you meet with your realtor, they should be able to tell you three things. Are we in a low inventory or high inventory market? Are we in a low demand or high demand market? What are the typical seasonal trends that you deal with in this market? So right now, we're supposed to have 8,000 homes for sale in Orange County. We have only 3,000 homes for sale. That means if somebody's buying right now, they're walking into a very hot seller market. That means that the strategy has to change from a buyer's market. Pending sales right now are really, really low, so it's kind of a slower time for pending sales, but homes that are upgraded are selling quickly. Homes that are not upgraded, there's actually lots of deals around right now. So if you're the kind of buyer who isn't afraid to replace the flooring and maybe update the kitchen or paint the cabinets, you can actually get a really good deal right now in Orange County. So understanding what kind of market you're in, the seasonal trends, where supply is, where demand is at, will help you to make smarter real estate decisions when you go to purchase. So that's really important, is understanding what market you're in before you go out and start house shopping. So I have covered kind of the basics, things that you need to know when you go to buy a home. And this is part one. In part two, now we're going to talk about the fun part, the part that everybody loves, home shopping. So please stick around, click watch on the next video to see part two, where I'm going to teach you all the hacks that you need to know to shop like a smart home buyer and find that dream property. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next part of this series.